everyone, and welcome to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. My name's Adam Sykes, the founder of SwiftCase, the professional productivity platform, and today we've got with me
Phil Whitby, developer at SwiftCase.
And Craig McCarthy, development manager at SwiftCase.
Okay, great. And today we were going to talk about something we've been talking in the office, which is how brands get appropriated by like certain subcultures or groups. Specifically, there's been a lot of issues recently about brands getting getting appropriated by groups that they wouldn't necessarily want to be associated with, especially with sort of like the rise of far right groups, certainly across America and elsewhere, where certain brands have been almost like tarnished by their association with these groups that they've organically have just grown to adopt these brands as like a signifier of their subculture.
I wonder whether it's they deliberately do, or it's a byproduct of them already buying into them as they are, and then it later becomes a way to recognise them. And then
I'd say, like I said, it was all. I think it's probably organic in the initial stages, because
and then later
it's not like everyone has. I'm sure everyone didn't have a meeting and say like everyone's got to wear like New Balance, shoes this week because that's what we're all that's what we're all doing over on the far right. But I think people might be the dress that they wear of that type of group of culture that ends up becoming that type of
also the influence, I suppose, isn't it, as well, of the kind of the stakeholders within the organisation. Like if they dress a certain way, it's like this. It's the idea of the cult, isn't it? Really, like they'll follow this leader. I realised this, and I only just remembered this as we were talking then. This has kind of got out of control because even like memes are being taken over now. Pepe the Frog. And I remember it was someone who used to work here, he was into memes and stuff, and he told me about it. And I was like, that's just outrageous. Like, this is a frog that was just, I think it was like a sad frog, like I can't quite remember.
Well, the actual guy who drew the comic is now successfully going around suing right-wingers for using it.
And rightfully so. It's just wild, isn't it? Because normally you associate it with dress.
But it's any brand, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's any brand,
Well, it's funnily enough, like you just made me realise one thing. As well as that meme, it's like one of the big things that happens with every politician is that, and especially right-wing politicians, is that they use a song in one of their rallies. Yeah. And then every time, because musicians always tend to be left-leaning, they always say, you can't use it. And every time they go, huh?
Yeah.
And then use whatever they want. And I remember back years ago, D-Ream and with New Labour, things are going to get better. Brian Cox is like, you can't use that. And every year, it seems almost like, actually, the brands, it's mutually beneficial. They get to use the music, the politicians, and then the bands get to place themselves in contradistinction to the politicians. Yeah. And so both of them get credibility from it.
I thought Brian Cox was into it. I thought he played live.
Did he?
Yeah. That
maybe it was the singer. I think it was the singer that didn't like it then. Maybe it was Brian Cox.
I thought they were ones who actually were backing them.
Oh, right.
I know it's happened recently with like Florence and the Machine. It's happened with, and other ones like where.
Was it?
Florence and the Machine's been used. I don't know whether that's too recent. I don't know what ABBA thought about a recent dancing attempt.
Oh God.
But I'm not sure they.
There was something with Trump as well with his.
That's right. Yeah, that's one.
With the like.
Was it the Rolling Stones? Is it?
Yeah. And they were fuming.
Every band with Trump. Any band with Trump, please. Like,
I think it was like covers bands that wouldn't even play it as an inauguration or something like that. Or it ended up being a covers band because nearly every band wouldn't.
Everyone didn't want to be associated with their brand, and I think it's a big issue for brands because what can you do? If fair enough, you've got with a musician, you have got the argument that I don't want to I didn't give my rights for you to use that song. Obviously, somehow they've already given up those rights to the record producer, and the music's been legally bought, and it doesn't always get run past the artist for it to be used. But for a clothing manufacturer, you sell your clothes for people to wear. There's no way where you can. You've not got a mechanism at all to say you can't wear those shoes if you have that political view or you have that that particular subculture. Because in the past it maybe wasn't necessarily to do with even to do with anything that was like what we're talking about now. People just, I don't know, like punk era, you know, people all started wearing the same sort of clothes. It wasn't like offensive to that brand or whatever.
I think the punk was about repurposing, wasn't it, and changing it to yourself. I think.
Yeah, but then you've got like the idea of like sort of the Burberry situation, where Burberry was very associated with like sort of the
double glass, maybe, Range Rover.
Yeah, it was certainly it was a high, and it certainly is around the world.
Yeah,
it's a high class British brand.
Yeah,
but in the UK, it got associated with sort of like the subculture of like the unemployed and the you know,
chavs, it was
called chavs, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, sort of like can be quite an offensive term, I think, really. But like at the time, Burberry were going mental over this, and so much so that clothing companies now will burn their clothes rather than let them ever be reduced in price that the wrong people would wear these clothes.
Yeah, so they cut them off at source, basically. They've just reduced the supply because they feel like those people got them cheap, or stolen, or fake. So like Chanel, like just keep increasing their prices. Yeah. So they're known, like their prices just go up every year because they always want to make sure that they're only available to a certain.
The image is more important.
The image is more important than the finances, even because they're obviously going to sell less.
Yeah.
But protecting the brand is more important to them.
It's maintaining the longevity, isn't it? Really, isn't it? Of the brand, because I mean, ultimately, I suppose if your whole image, your whole brand is being tarnished, and it's not, you know, part of your mission or vision of the brand, then of course, you know, it's gonna.
So that's the key way though to actually really to target these issues though, is that would all the neo-Nazis or whatever all be wearing a brand that was well known for being
promoting
liberal,
diversity,
they wouldn't, would they? So actually, if you take, rather than your brand being a logo, which, you know, is where a lot of people go wrong. They think branding is about their graphic design rather than what they actually what they're about, why they do it. If your why was very strong and you were very open about why you as a company existed and what you were about, then maybe you would be able to mitigate the risk and mitigate the risk of people adopting your brand who didn't align with your values.
Well, it's happened because Volkswagen, Hugo Boss, they're massive supporters by, you know, economically in a way, of the Nazis in the Second World War, because they made all the uniforms Hugo Boss, didn't they?
Yeah, Hugo Boss.
Yeah. And
Volkswagen was actually made by.
Yeah. So they've managed to survive that association.
Yeah. But that's different though, I suppose, because they actually took part in it.
Yeah.
Rather than they were appropriated against their will.
Yeah.
I suppose that's.
That's even worse.
Yeah, exactly.
So they've managed to survive.
Yeah.
That.
So it is doable.
Yeah.
It is doable for a brand to change into. Yeah. But I'm not even sure how Hugo Boss actually managed to do that, because like they've never really come out as very.
Well, maybe it just shows you something about the way society just represses things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you can as soon as it's over, let's just forget about it.
Yeah. As long as the product's good quality, as long as the German engineer in the Volkswagen car is great, and I'm going to buy it whether they were originally associated.
Well, maybe that's why they are so good, because of that. Maybe they were pushed because of that negotiation to just go that bit further.
Yeah, they had something to prove to make up for the past.
Yeah, possibly.
I think that would be an interesting one to throw out to the audience, really, and see what they think. Because I'd love to know how they've managed to do that.
Well, look, they've managed to survive the diesel scandal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
well, that's big business, though, isn't it? I suppose now the trouble is with the diesel scandal. It's like kind of like everyone's doing it.
That's
can't blame us. Everyone's doing it.
Exactly.
I mean, that seems to be the the sort of the get out for the big business, isn't it? Is like, well, who are you going to go to? You know, is everyone going to go and buy a Tesla?
Exactly.
Because like but it's whatever it takes to environmentally to build a Tesla. You know, no car company's got the environmental sort of vision sewn up as such, have they really?
It's not in actuality.
To go and buy a Toyota Prius or a Nissan Leaf.
Yeah.
no one wants to buy those cars.
Not yet.
It's the dark side, isn't it, really, of like the influencer marketing, really. You don't want the wrong influencer to be...
Yeah, that's a very good point, isn't it?
Because, I mean, you've got the opposite end of the spectrum where, you know, you get like, I don't know, who's someone famous at the minute? Ariana Grande or something. Like, she shows up and she's, you know, wearing your watch or something. It's usually paid, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But, it blows up, doesn't it? Like, they get paid hundreds of thousands of pounds just for doing this. In fact, I remember reading
Instagram post is like tens of thousands, aren't they?
Yeah, isn't it? Gareth Bale, the footballer, he gets paid £250,000 for an Instagram post promoting something, which is it's big money.
What's that? There's only half a week's wage.
But it's just it's crazy to me. But that's the sort of power that people have. On the customers, isn't it, really? So,
but the trouble is what happens when that goes wrong.
Well, exactly.
So you align yourself with some celebrity, and then they do something.
Exactly, yeah.
Who's recently done that? I'm trying to think who's done that.
Or who's allegedly done.
Or allegedly, or whose brand has been damaged. I was going to say Danny Baker, but I mean, which brands are aligned with him?
Daz was like back in the day.
But we know.
But it does happen, doesn't it? Yeah. It has happened in the past where someone's been aligned with a particular celebrity. Going back a while, there was like Tiger Woods was like everywhere, wasn't he? Like watches and all sorts, and then, you know, his fall from grace.
Yeah.
You know, people had to drop them.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
Yeah, and like people make the wrong decisions, and like you're aligned to this brand. But I suppose we're getting back to our original point is that's when you've specifically gone out. So like Hugo Boss and Volkswagen were created in that period, and they knowingly went into business.
It's the companies that made the decision rather than
the influencers that then do something. They've made the wrong decision to actually pick those influencers because they've tied their brand to someone they can't be 100% sure on, because they're not. They might love the money that you give them, but they're not aligned to you through any sort of alignment with your vision. And you know, there are people who do that. There will be celebrities who say, I really like this, you aren't getting paid, and that's what that's the celebrity endorsement you want, because they go, I believe in what you're doing. You know, like it happens with charities, doesn't it? Is it it's not Matt Damon. Is it Matt Damon in the water aid? Was it Leonardo DiCaprio? I think it's Leonardo DiCaprio.
It sounds
like
more
water aid. Like, I'm sure they're not paying him. I'm sure he's just doing that because he believes in what they're doing, and you know, maybe it's easier for non-profit. But if someone particularly like is always seen wearing your suits, and like they just happen to like them, you haven't paid them, well then you've got, that's a much better endorsement than you paying someone. But then if someone's endorsing you who you don't want endorsing, was actually one I heard about like the negative influencer marketing, where bag companies would buy. This happened with what was that? Jersey Shore.
They gave a
Jersey Shore. The rival
well.
Bag companies were sending like the people on Jersey Shore.
Snooki, I think.
That's it. They were sending her bags so that the other company got associated with her.
Amazing.
So that they wouldn't be. So it's all like your brand is so important. You've really got to be careful about who you associate with. And like beyond that, you know, have a strong vision that like someone can't just appropriate you.
At the same time as well, influencers need to do the same thing with the companies.
Yeah, it can go both ways, can't it?
Yeah, because I'm sure, again, don't quote me on this exactly, but I think The Rock had a tricky situation with Under Armour a couple of years ago over there was some controversy there, and he got a bit of backlash for it because of what Under Armour had said or what one of the staff had done. So it can definitely it works all ways.
Fire Festival.
Fire
Festival, was it?
Ja Rule.
Ja Rule didn't come out too well for Fire Festival,
potentially.
So you know, you've got to watch who you associate with and make sure that you only do stuff that aligns with what you believe. I suppose.
Well, because when you come out and say we don't believe in that, it has to be credible.
Yeah, you can't come up with it after the fact, can you? I suppose, because it's just like.
Or if you do, it's like it just shows weakness. If you don't have that clear.
It all comes down to like don't go with someone just because they're offering you more money or it's going to be super.
It works both ways.
Like the Chanel thing.
Ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Client side.
Great. So if you've noticed any brands that have maybe aligned themselves or been aligned against their will with something, you want to let us know and we want to join the chat, drop a comment below down in the comments and we'll join you there.
Yeah, and if you want to check out our brand and some of the things that we do, our vision, our mission, check out swiftcase.co.uk and also follow us on social media at SwiftCase.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe below and see more.
Thanks for listening to the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. I'm Adam Sykes, founder of SwiftCase, the professional productivity platform. And don't forget to check out our podcast every Monday and Friday. And we'll see you again next time.